Well, there's been a lot of talk. What should the Browns do? What should the NFL do with Myles Garrett? Browns fans know the story, the fight, the helmet hitting, all those things. What did Mason-Rudolph do? Which, by the way, he did provoke it in some ways, and he should be suspended. Nonetheless, he should not have been hit in the head with a helmet, all that stuff. I remember somebody once said to me, you know, we live in a society now between the internet and just all the spotlight, not only on big stars or athletes, but almost on any person. You go to the internet, you know what oftentimes is the first thing that pops up when people Google our names? Maybe the worst thing we've ever done. If you've ever been arrested or this kind of stuff. I will say this about Myles Garrett. I probably would name 20 or 25 players before I brought up his name and say, who's the guy that's going to hit a player over the head with a helmet in a game? Because Myles Garrett, I'm not saying he belongs in a church window or anything else, but he's been a good guy with the Browns. You know, going back to college at Texas A&M, there were no problems. They were a pretty good student. His first couple of years with the Browns, you know, if anything, he wanted to be more aggressive in that, but no, there was not a lot of problems. There was a bit this year, it was a little strange. First two games, he got into a fight in the opener against Tennessee. We threw a punch at a guy and got fined for that. And then the next game, when he knocked down quarterback Trevor Siemian against the Jets, he was fined for that. In fact, those two games, the fines totaled $52,000. Nonetheless, those are kind of football aggressive things. If I'm the Browns or the NFL, here's how I feel. He doesn't play the rest of the year, comes back fresh next year. You know, you want to send some anger management or whatever. Well, let's just not write this person off as a player or a person. Again, and let's not act like this is the worst thing to ever happen on the football field, because frankly it's not. There's been a lot of other things go back in the past. ESPN dug out a bunch of old fights. Now, again, I'm not excusing anything. I'm not even particularly explaining anything. But I also don't like us being in a society where we just want to bury people, should never do this, never play again, all that stuff. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. Now, again, I'm not one of these people excusing Myles because of what Mason-Rudolph did to provoke it. No, you just don't fight that way. In fact, my pastor, Bishop Joey Johnson, said he was watching the Browns game, and I love this line. He said, you know what happened at the end? That's what happens when passion runs into a lack of discipline. When you're passionate, but you have no self-discipline, it could come out the wrong way. And that's often what happens in life. By the way, my own things, and you get passionate in an argument, I don't have the self-discipline, next thing I'm saying something stupid and I'm verbally hitting somebody over the head. So sometimes we have to remember we can go that way too. For Myles, I hope during the suspension that things go well for him and he really works on maybe his temper and these things. But again, let's just not cast this guy off to the side, because for the most part, again, he's done a really good job going back to college in his first couple of years with the Browns.